some people need to, they already own a domain and they need to transfer it maybe back into their own control. What are some of the pieces of information they need to do that?
Okay, so I think there's two kind of distinct situations that you may encounter. And the first is when you have a domain registered with a registrar, a domain registration company, and you want to move it away from that registrar. And then there's a situation where you just want to access it and have control of it and keep it where it is. So for example, if I registered something with Namecheap.com, which is the domain registration company that I use, and I want to move it away from that company, what I have to do is slightly different than if I registered something with Namecheap.com a couple of years ago and then just lost access to it and need to regain access. Right. So just to clarify, there's two different situations there. If something was registered by a person, by an individual, and they need to access that and they've forgotten how to access it, usually what they can do is they can find out which company it was registered with. So what you can do to do that is you have to do what's called a whois lookup, and I'll put a link below this video on how to access that. Basically what you need to do is you need to do a whois lookup of the domain, which then tells you which company it's currently registered with. That's the company that you need to access or you need to contact to get contact details for that. So what you can usually do is you go to the company's website, and what you do is usually they have a login, and you go and you look for the forgot password link, right, and then you put in the email address that you think that you used to register the domain, right, and you put in send me a new password basically, and what that will do is they'll send you a new password and then you can then access it. If you've forgotten which email address you've used, or if it's an old email address like an old work email address, you no longer work there, then it gets a bit more complex and usually you have to talk to their support team, and it depends on the specific company as to which way. You have to
prove your identity kind of thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right. Okay.
Because that's a good thing, because you don't want somebody coming along and just saying, hey, I own this domain name, will you send me the details? Right. So it's a protection thing.
Sure.
Security thing. So that's if you just want to keep it where it is, and maybe what you want to do is you want to log in and change the name servers so that you have a new hosting company for it. Something like that. Right. So that's what you can do if you just need to keep it where it is. Now if you want to actually move it to a different registrar, so let's say you've got it with Namecheap and you want to move it somewhere like GoDaddy or somewhere else, then what you need to do is you need to log into that domain name account, and what you need to do is you need to start a transfer process. And what that does, usually there's a thing called a registrar lock on the domain name, which stops people accidentally moving their domain name. So what you do is you need to, usually it's somewhere under manage my domains, manage your domains, and you look for your domain name and you click unlock. Then what you need to do is you need to get what's called an EPP code, and usually there's a link there that says, do you want to transfer your domain name? Click here to get the EPP code. And what you need to do then is you need to go to the new company that you want to transfer the domain name to, and you log in there and you say transfer domain to this account, and you put in the domain name, and then it say okay, to kick this off you need to give us the EPP code. So you stick in the EPP code there, and at that stage the transfer has kicked off, and you'll usually receive a couple of emails, one from the new company, one from the old company, that tell you, the old company usually says, are you sure you want to move your domain name? Click here to confirm that you do, just to make sure so it's secure. Sure. And then the new company telling you that the domain name transfer has happened. And then once that's all done, you log into the new domain name registrar company, and you can change your name servers and do all the things that you need to do with that. So that's basically how you transfer a domain name and how you get control of it. So it's not a complex process. It's just a little bit time consuming. I'd recommend people, if they need to do this, that they give themselves at least 2 weeks of time, because sometimes it can take 24 hours for emails to get sent and various bits and pieces to happen. So give yourself a bit of time to do it.